job that's not a fit, or we stay in a career for a long, long time, or, we just stay in these kind of lower vibrational relationships or situations.
Yeah. So we're talking with Dr. Nicola today, Nicola Dellinger from Durango, Colorado, where she sees patients and clients from all over, does personal and group retreats, and also has a course about this very topic. So Nicola, let's talk about your course. And before you do, I want to invite everyone to come here in the comments and download your free ebook. She's got a beautifully designed ebook about taming your inner critic, learning to love yourself more, and becoming your own best friend. So will you talk about the course you're also offering?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it really came out of a lot of conversations I have with my patients in office, but then also in, Facebook groups and that sort of stuff, where when we start authentically talking about how hard we are on ourselves, everybody starts nodding and going, yeah, me too, me too. But what do I do about it? So I ended up writing this book about, kind of being in relationship to your inner critic in a different way. And I got literally hundreds of responses saying, thank you so much. This has totally shifted my relationship, even just from reading it, because now, rather than being hooked into the story, we can see that inner critic as just a part of ourselves who may or may not, have a good strategy for getting us what we want. So out of that was born this program of becoming your best friend, that to really help people kind of deepen into these practices and get support of a group environment, because I think a lot of us think that we are the only ones that feel this way. And we see the pictures on Facebook or Instagram and all these shiny, happy people, and they have this great life and they don't talk to themselves this way, or they don't have fears about themselves in this way. So I really wanted to create a group environment so that we can really support each other as we authentically shift our relationships with these, years long, conversations that are just getting in the way of us really living a life that's turned on, that sparks. And I see that so often. And I think that's really contributing to health issues, not just mental health issues like anxiety and depression, but a lot of other health issues as well. Pain certainly being a big one, digestive issues, cardiac issues, blood sugar issues, where we don't allow ourselves to be nourished by our environment. We keep on pushing ourselves to do what we think we have to do in order to get what we think we want. But really, we're kind of dying inside.
That's really sad, but true statement for many people, really dying inside, especially with what you talked before towards this cellular memory of these emotional traumas and these cycles that we get stuck in. And sometimes it's like this self-sabotage, and other times we're trying to undo these things, but we just keep getting stuck in a loop. So what are some of the steps in the course that you will walk people through to help them, really be present in themselves and be their authentic selves?
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to do this really gentle because I know that a lot of people don't really have a lot of time and space, or think that they don't have a lot of time and space to take care of themselves in the way that they know that they could. And so I've set it up so that it should feel really, really accessible. And so we're going to do one live call a month, and that's where I'll be doing a little bit of teaching. And then I want to create plenty of time and space for each person to talk about their own experience, where they're getting stuck, where they're having successes. And then we'll use each other's experiences as a guide for how to get out of there. Because I guarantee you, if you are feeling a certain way or having a certain experience, somebody else in the group, if not all of us, are going to relate to what you're saying and benefit from hearing about that. So some of the topics we're going to talk about are, unconditional love, which I think is a foreign concept for so many of us. So many of us have grown up learning that there are conditions and parameters that allow us to feel love, and then everything else. And we're going to talk about self-care as service, because I feel like so many people, especially women, kind of get into this negative feedback loop that if I take care of myself in a really positive and joyous way, then that's selfish, or I'm letting somebody else down, or I'm not taking care of somebody else in my world. So we're going to talk about how taking care of ourselves is really an act of service for everyone in our community. We're going to talk about how to let go of guilt and resentment and resistance, because so oftentimes a big part of this is simply being resistant to what's here. So we're going to teach some very specific tools around how to make more space for what's here and be in a more neutral place, as opposed to having judgments around it. And then, of course, we're going to talk about how to listen to and then heal your inner critic and really walk through exactly what that looks like and how to do that. And then the final topic we're going to touch on is self-love and pleasure. And this is something that we all, who doesn't want more pleasure in their world? But so many of us, yeah, you say, great, we'll get you all signed up. But this is the issue, right? Is that we're not life is supposed to be hard. And it's like, you talk to somebody on a Monday and it's like, oh, I had such a busy weekend and it was super productive. And I took down 7 trees and planted whatever, and it's like this crazy review of what happened over the weekend. And so even our fun time has got to be very productive. And so really kind of stepping into adopting pleasure as a way of creating more of what you want in the world. Again, not just for you, but for everybody else. Because I guarantee you, on those days where you show up and you've worn something that you love how it looks and how it feels, and maybe you took a nice bath before you went out and you fed yourself your favorite food, and then you go out into the world, everyone is picking up on that vibe and they want to stand in your light. So this is really about learning how to stand more in your brilliance, which so many of us are, afraid to do. But the truth of that is, the more I stand in my light and my brilliance, the more of an invitation it is for you to stand in your light and your brilliance. And then we get to celebrate everybody. So this course is really designed to teach you how to light back up again.
Oh, this is great, because this is what I think happens. Tell me if this is what happens, that you feel bad about yourself because of this inner critic. And so you aren't standing in your light. Mm-hmm. I like the way you say that. But then you're afraid to stand in your light because you're afraid people aren't going to like you if you're standing in your light.
That's exactly right. Or that you'll be seen and that people will see your flaws and your, kind of ickier parts. But this is about if you can't really to love you in a way that you're not willing to love yourself. And so when we learn to love ourselves, like radically accept all of who we are and come to a place of, not necessarily peace, but maybe just neutrality, or at least acceptance of like, oh, there's that piece again that's doing X, Y, and Z. We can dance with those parts of ourselves differently. And then people in our world will then show up and respond to us differently too.
We have a question specifically about the course, and I'm not sure if you want to refer them or answer, but Rich is asking, what's the schedule for the course? What time are the calls?
Yeah, so the calls are going to be on Tuesday evenings at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. So that's 5 p.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. Eastern. I tried to find a place that no matter where you are in the States or beyond, that it would be a good time for you. And so we're going to do those, but they all will be recorded. So if you're going to miss a call or you can't make it for some reason, there'll be plenty of opportunities to listen to that and ask questions. We're also going to have a private Facebook group. That's going to be a great place to connect with other people and share information. And then we're also going to have pre-recorded webinars with experts in the love is medicine field, like yours truly, Ms. Raspberry, and a couple of other docs and mindfulness teachers. So we're really going to have plenty of information for you. Oh, and there's also going to be a Befriending Yourself journal that I created specifically to go along with this course. And that's something that you can work on at your own pace. And so it's really a question of, how much time can you create in your world, and so this can be an ongoing process. But I think that journaling, or at least having questions that have us thinking a little bit more deeply in a meditative or reflective sort of way, are a crucial part of that process.
Beautiful. So thanks for that question, Rich.
Yeah.
So if you're just joining us now, or if you've been listening, I'm here with Dr. Nicola Dellinger, who has an amazing mind-body naturopathic medicine practice. And she has this beautiful ebook about taming your inner critic. So I encourage you to share it with others. It's free, and download it today. And you can also go there to learn more about the course she has. This really, I like the schedule of it. It's kind of an unconventional schedule for a course, but it is very like low stress, one call a month.
Yeah.
You can really dive into that and not feel like, how am I going to fit this in? Because that's what prevents me sometimes with courses. This is like, I love it and I want to do it, but I just don't know where I'm going to fit it in.
Yeah. Or you sign up and then you can't make the weekly calls, and you get out the whip because you didn't do it right again. And, so that I was very, very intentional with setting up the schedule of this course so that it felt like, you know what? I've got 2 hours a month for me. Like I can do that. And because we're facing an epidemic where people are ashamed and downtrodden and not very happy. And so it's really time for us all to step in and be in relationship with ourselves differently, so that we can then be that beacon of light for everybody else in our world. And then they can step into more of who they are too.
Well, thanks so much, Dr. Nicola, for sharing this with us. I love having beautiful opportunities like this for everyone at Naturopath and Naturopathic Doctor News and Review and our communities there, because it's really in alignment with these naturopathic philosophies, and you're quite the expert in the area. So I appreciate you so much and your time. Everyone, thank you for joining us today. Please, you can continue to comment here and ask questions, but please download your ebook so you can learn more about this subject and just take that time for yourself. And again, Dr. Nicola's course, 2 hours a month for yourself to really learn about some of these emotional cellular memories and why you have this inner critic, and how to work with that inner critic to empower yourself to have more love and pleasure, as you say, in your life.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And this could be a great practice for you guys who are listening. Is there a little voice that goes, ooh, that sounds kind of fun? Don't push that down. List that's you. So if you're called to this, that's great. And if you're not, that I trust that too. So just really know that use even this moment as a practice of listening to your higher knowing that says, ooh, there's something for me over there. Or kind of there's a contraction of like, not right now. So continue to practice that, because that will be your true guide.
That's great advice for everything.
Yeah, exactly. Great. Well, thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
It's always fun, and we'll do it again soon.
Sounds good.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.